Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or started a sentence and halfway through your mind just blanked? Or found yourself struggling to remember the name of someone you've known for years? You're not alone. And no, you're not losing it. But let's be honest, it's unsettling. And for many people over 60, it's quietly terrifying. Because when your body starts to slow down, you adjust. You rest more, you stretch, you make peace with it. But when your mind starts to slip, even just a little, that hits differently. It's not just frustrating, it's frightening because you start to wonder, is this how it begins? The fog, the forgetfulness, the slow unraveling of the sharpness you've always relied on. You try to laugh it off. You tell yourself it's just stress, or you're tired, or distracted. But in the back of your mind, the fear is there. The fear of forgetting, of fading, of slowly disappearing from your own life. And here's the thing, you are not imagining it. Our brains do change as we age, but that doesn't mean you're helpless. In fact, research now shows something amazing. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. Your brain is adaptable, it's resilient, it's capable of change and growth at every stage of life. And you have more control than you think. Because staying mentally sharp after 60 isn't about luck. It's not about genes, it's about choices. Simple daily choices that protect your memory, your clarity, your focus, and your independence. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 essential areas that can keep your mind strong, alert, and fully alive. And no, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to equip you. Because this isn't just about avoiding decline. It's about living a life that still feels full, clear, and truly yours. Let's get started. Let's start with something that most people overlook when it comes to staying sharp, the way you eat. You already know that diet affects your body, your weight, your blood pressure, your heart. But what fewer people realize is that your brain is one of the hungriest organs you have. It uses a huge portion of the calories and nutrients you take in every single day. And if you're feeding it junk, expect it to run like junk. Let's be honest. By the time most of us hit 60, food has become less about nourishment and more about comfort. We get used to habits. Maybe we skip meals or rely too much on processed snacks. We eat for convenience, not for clarity. And slowly, without realizing it, we start to feel foggy, sluggish, like we're a little slower than we used to be. So we blame age. But sometimes it's not your age at all. It's your fuel. If you wouldn't pour cheap oil into a classic car, why would you feed your brain with things that don't nourish it? Because here's the truth. What you eat today directly affects how well you think tomorrow. Let's take just one example. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines. These are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are like building blocks for your brain cells. They help reduce inflammation and keep your memory centers strong and healthy. You don't like fish? That's fine. Try a handful of walnuts or flax seeds. Even chia seeds in your morning yogurt can make a difference. And while we're at it, let's talk about sugar. Sugar might give you a quick boost, but too much of it actually shrinks the hippocampus. That's the part of your brain responsible for memory. So that second cookie, it might be costing you more than a few calories. Now, I'm not saying you have to go on a restrictive diet. This isn't about punishment. It's about reclaiming your clarity. Try this. Start your day with a real breakfast, not just toast or coffee, something with protein. Eggs, a little fruit, some oats. Make lunch something green and colorful, not beige and deep fried. Drink water throughout the day, not just coffee or soda. And if you're going to snack, make it something that actually supports your brain. Nuts, berries, a piece of dark chocolate with a few almonds. None of this needs to be perfect, but it does need to be intentional. Because when you give your brain the fuel it truly needs, you'll start to notice something. You're clearer, quicker, more alert, more you. So the next time you're reaching for something fast or familiar, ask yourself, is this feeding my hunger or feeding my mind? Your brain is still working hard for you. The least we can do is feed it like it matters. Let's talk about how you should never stop learning. You spent decades learning because you had to. School, work, raising kids, managing a household. Life was a constant stream of new information and problems to solve. You had to stay sharp or things would fall apart. But now that you're past the chaos, nobody's pushing you anymore. No more report cards, no more deadlines, no boss breathing down your neck. And you'd think that would feel like a relief. But here's the danger. When the pressure stops, we stop growing. And when we stop growing, the mind starts to slow, not because it's old, but because it's no longer being challenged. See, your brain doesn't need stress, but it does need stimulation. It needs curiosity, newness, surprise, even struggle. When you learn something new, really learn, not just skim, you're creating new pathways in your brain. You're strengthening your memory, your focus, and even your sense of identity. And no, this doesn't mean you need to go get a degree. It could be something as simple as picking up a book you wouldn't normally read, trying out a new recipe, or learning how to use a new app. Even if it frustrates you at first, you could take an online class just for fun. You could start writing your life story, chapter by chapter. You could learn a few words in a new language, not to be fluent, just to stretch your mind. One of the best ways to stay sharp? Try something you're bad at. Yes, you heard that right. Because even the effort of learning something new, even when it's awkward, is what keeps your brain alive. Here's what people get wrong. They think learning has to be quick, efficient, but your brain actually grows the most when it's confused, when it struggles. So give yourself permission to feel like a beginner again. Remember what it's like to be curious. Let yourself be interested. Let yourself play, because your brain doesn't care about perfection. It cares about progress. And even 5 or 10 minutes a day of deliberate learning, that's like medicine for your mind. You're not too old to learn. You're too smart to stop. If someone told you that one of the best ways to protect your memory wasn't in a book or a bottle, but in your legs, your lungs, and your feet, would you believe them? Because here's the truth. If you want a healthy mind, you need a moving body. For years, people thought exercise was only about weight loss or heart health or staying limber. And yes, it helps with all of that. But what science is now proving over and over again is that movement is one of the most powerful tools you have to preserve your brain. Every time you go for a walk, or stretch in the morning, or take the stairs instead of the elevator, you're doing more than staying mobile. You're improving blood flow to the brain. You're feeding it oxygen. You're releasing natural chemicals that help your brain grow new cells. And yes, it can still grow new cells, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. It even helps strengthen the part of your brain called the hippocampus. That's your memory center. That's the part that shrinks with aging and stress. But movement can actually reverse some of that loss. And I'm not talking about extreme workouts. You don't need a personal trainer or a gym membership. You don't need to run, jump, or lift heavy weights if that's not your thing. You just need to move with purpose and consistency. Maybe that's walking around your block a few times a day. Maybe it's dancing in your living room to music you love. Maybe it's gentle yoga or gardening or tai chi in the park. Whatever it is, let it be something you can enjoy and something you can stick with. And here's the bonus people often forget. Movement doesn't just help you think better, it helps you sleep deeper. And sleep is when your brain does its cleanup work. It sorts memories, clears waste, and resets for the next day. So that little walk after dinner, it's not just good for your digestion, it's preparing your brain for sharper thinking tomorrow. And let's not overlook how movement helps with mood. When you move, you produce endorphins. Those are your natural feel-good chemicals. They lift your spirits. They reduce anxiety. They calm the kind of background noise in your head that makes it hard to focus. So no, you're not too old to exercise. You're too wise not to. Don't think of it as working out. Think of it as taking your brain for a walk. Start small, start slow, start wherever you are. Because every step you take, every stretch you make, you're not just moving your body, you're protecting your mind. And that's a gift your future self will thank you for. You know what's more important for your brain than crosswords or memory games? People. That's right. Conversation, laughter, human connection. Not only does it feed the soul, it protects the mind. But here's what happens to too many people after 60. Life slows down, but not in the peaceful way we always imagined. The kids move out, co-workers disappear after retirement, close friends move away or pass on. And before we know it, the world becomes quiet, too quiet. And that quiet, it doesn't just feel lonely, it affects your brain. Studies have shown that social isolation in older adults doesn't just increase the risk of depression, it increases the risk of cognitive decline by as much as 40%. Because when you're disconnected, your brain becomes underused. Conversation is one of the most complex activities your brain can do. Think about it. You're remembering details. You're interpreting tone. You're picking up on facial expressions. You're organizing thoughts and choosing words, all in real time. It's like a full body workout for your mind. So when that interaction is missing, the brain starts to go quiet. Not because it's old, but because it's not being used. Here's the good news. It's never too late to reconnect. Maybe you're thinking, but I don't have a big social circle. That's okay. You don't need one. Start with one person. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while just to say hello. Start a weekly coffee with a neighbor. Join a walking group or an online forum where people your age talk about life, purpose, even gardening or books. Attend a local class or workshop, even if you don't know anyone there yet. And here's something simple but powerful. Start conversations with strangers, at the grocery store, at the park, waiting in line. You'd be amazed how much life you can bring back into your brain by just talking to another human being. And don't forget, connection isn't just about words, it's about feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling part of something. Because when you're connected to others, your brain is grounded in reality, in routine, in purpose. And when you're cut off, you start to feel like a ghost in your own life. You don't have to let that happen. You are still someone worth knowing. Still someone with a story to tell. Still someone who can light up a room, even if you've forgotten how. Reach out, show up, speak up, because a mind that is spoken to is a mind that stays alive. Let's talk about something we all carry, and most of us carry too much of it. Stress. Not the kind that shows up in big, dramatic moments, but the slow, quiet kind that builds over the years. You know the kind I mean. It's the worry about your kids even when they're grown. It's the tension you feel after watching the news. It's the responsibility of being the strong one, the dependable one, the one everyone turns to. It's guilt about the past, regret about things you wish you'd done differently, and the constant, unspoken pressure to hold it all together. Now here's the part we don't talk about enough. Stress doesn't just live in your body, it lives in your brain. When you're under chronic stress, even mild background stress, your brain is flooded with a hormone called cortisol. And over time, cortisol does something dangerous. It actually shrinks the hippocampus. That's the part of your brain responsible for memory, learning, and emotional regulation. So if you've ever felt like your thoughts are scrambled, like your memory isn't what it used to be, like you're tired but wired, always carrying a weight you can't quite name, it might be more than just age. It might be emotional overload. And no, you're not weak for feeling it. You're human. You've lived through a lot. And maybe you've been carrying everyone else's burdens for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to simply carry your own. So how do you let go? You start small. You start by telling yourself, I don't have to fix everything. I don't have to carry it all. That might feel selfish at first, but it's not. It's survival. It's how you protect your mind for the long haul. Create space in your day to be still. Even 10 minutes of silence. A slow walk without your phone. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out slowly. Write down what's bothering you, just to get it out of your head. Speak to someone you trust, a friend, a counselor, a support group. Let someone else carry your story for a little while. Say no to things that drain you. Unplug from screens when they become too much. Say yes to boundaries that protect your peace, even if others don't understand. Because every time you make space for calm, you give your brain a break. And your brain needs that rest to reset, restore, and stay sharp. Here's what no one tells you. You don't have to be stressed to be strong. You don't have to carry everyone else's pain to be a good parent, partner, or friend. And you don't have to feel guilty for choosing peace. You've done enough. You've given enough. Now it's time to reclaim the stillness that keeps your mind whole. Because when you protect your peace, you protect your memory, you protect your clarity, you protect yourself. And that's not selfish, that's wisdom. So let's take a breath and step back. We've talked about food, about learning, about movement, about connection, and about letting go of stress that's been silently eating away at your clarity. But none of it is about perfection. This is about something much deeper. It's about giving your brain the love and attention it's always deserved and probably never fully received. It's about choosing presence over autopilot, peace over pressure, and clarity over chaos. Because here's the truth. You are not doomed to fade. You are not destined to decline. You are not too old to feel sharp, strong, and fully alive. You are still here, and your mind is still capable of learning, healing, adapting, and thriving. But it needs your help. It needs you to care, to challenge it, to nourish it, to protect it from noise and neglect. And the best part, it's not too late. You can start right now. With one walk, one new recipe, one heartfelt conversation, one moment of stillness. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start now. Because your story isn't over. Your wisdom isn't spent. And your mind, it still has so much more to give. Don't settle for slipping away. Don't accept the slow fade that others expect. Stay sharp. Stay curious. Stay alive inside. Because this life, your life, is still yours to shape. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below. What's one thing you're going to do today to keep your mind strong? And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you for being here. And remember, you're not fading, you're just getting started.